Well, hello there, St. Luke's. It's good to be back with you all for this midweek message. We've got a lot of things going on right now. A lot of planning taking place, a lot of preparation for the fall, and sort of our kind of unofficial kickoff on Labor Day, although most or many of our things are up and running already. But I just want to draw your attention to a couple of them, and then we're going to conclude with an introductory video and sort of from our new Associate Rector, Kelly O'Lear. And so he's going to explain a little bit more about himself and sort of his role here, which I am excited that the Lord has called him and his family here, and remain just overjoyed. You know, the sense of kind of excitement and anticipation, as I've been mentioning, is palpable here. And just the juxtaposition as to where we were this time last year, and it's just, well, the Lord is good, and we are grateful for His mercies and His provision in carrying us here. I was had a milestone in my own life, mine and Liza's, or at least one of our lives of our children, is Garland and Davis are now minnows over at the St. Luke's Day School, and so they had the little backpacks on, and if I knew how to insert, well, I do know how to insert pictures, but it seems a little self-aggrandizing, but nevertheless, I'll come to the Rector's Forum. I'll put one up for you. But we are now fully incorporated into all of the aspects of the ministry of the life of St. Luke's, from the children's bell choirs to the youth, to obviously to the preaching and teaching, and now even to the day school. And it just a reminder to me, as I have been talking about in the Rector's Forum the past couple of weeks, as we've gotten back in the saddle, as it were, addressing and sort of exegeting, for lack of a better word, the various discussions about the quote-unquote decline of the church and all of the various reasons that people are mentioning. And if you've been reading any sort of intellectual in a variety of different periodicals and magazines and newspapers over the past couple of months, you'll notice that people from the New York Times to the Atlantic to the Economist to World Magazine to Christianity Today, I mean, you name it, and people have been reflecting on sort of the breakdown of sort of cultural decency, or sort of interpersonal relations seem to be strained, to the point of breaking. There's a sense of kind of despair in many people's lives. There are metrics of brokenness and unhappiness sort of rising among all various demographics. The life expectancy is going down. There are many reasons to look around and be concerned. And as a father and as a husband and as a preacher and as a human, I share many of those concerns. And yet, here we are at this church, the embassy of God's hope and mercy, that we are ambassadors of reconciliation, Paul calls us, that we are people who have something that God has given us to say, to communicate, and share with the world that will actually reverse and heal and redeem some of those metrics of despair and decline. That will reunite relationships and bring reconciliation to the broken, to raise up the brokenhearted, and to establish a measure of hope and confidence that Jesus promises He would give us and that the world would not have. And so I was thinking about that all in light of the day school, because I'm sitting there with these young children, and young children represent, if nothing else, the future. These are people that have taken upon themselves the courageous step of bringing a life into the world and to nurture, protect, guide, and shape it so that they will, by God's grace, outlive the parent and bring something of a better life, better understanding. Some wisdom will be imparted that was unknown to the parent, but is passed on to the child, who then becomes the parent to pass on to the child, and so on and so forth. And so I'm looking around at these children, and I'm interacting with these parents, and I was overwhelmed with a sense of gratitude for the Lord having called us into this position where we get the joy and privilege of sharing, communicating, and sowing these seeds of His salvation into the world, knowing that He will provide the increase. And so, I hope that's somewhat of encouragement to you, not only for what we're doing here at St. Luke's, but what you have the opportunity to participate in your own lives. Because as I say, you can get to people, you have conversations, you have spheres of influence and responsibility, and people who listen to you in ways that they would never perhaps listen to me, or maybe read a Christian book, or maybe pick up a Bible. And I want to encourage you to pray for those people by name, persistently, but also for the courage and conviction to simply reflect the hope that you have. Why do you go to church? Why do you want to read your Bible? Why do you want to sing these songs and pray to this God? What is it about this Christianity, that sustains and shapes and holds you fast? And when we know the answer to those questions, when we communicate that's part of the preaching task, not relegated simply to ordained preachers, but to each and every Christian person in their mouths, proclaiming the word of God to the world. And he promises that he will not only honor that attempt, but not let it return void. And so, again, I hope that's an encouragement to you. If it sounds like I'm on kind of a evangelistic kick, it's because I am. And if it sounds like it's because I am hopeful that we will continue to watch the Lord bring out of darkness and despair his lost sheep and restore and redeem them, well, it's because that is. And if you think it's because that's the passion, purpose, and calling of the ordained priesthood, well, then you'd also be right. So all those things are in fact true, but it's a great joy to get to participate with you in all of that. This week, there's nothing pressing upcoming. We have a number of things that I'll save for next week's midweek message that are more timely, time contingent, but suffice it to say, please do put on your calendar Sunday, September 10th. This will be the retirement celebration of our deacon Kathy Phillips. Will be after the 10 o'clock service in the Kron's Fellowship Hall, and preparation has been well underway for a glorious celebration of her ministry here at St. Luke's, of which I was so grateful to have been a part of officially for this past year, but look forward to her participating as she would like on any given Sunday in the life of the ministry here as in her role as a deacon. And then also continue to consider clearing your 5:30 to 7:30 schedule in September, October, and November for our 10 weeks this fall in the book of Romans. When in Romans, there will be 5:30 to 7:30. There'll be a dinner, short evening prayer. There will be a teaching and a small group component with a hard stop at 7:30. So please consider joining us. We already have Critical Mass signed up, but the earlier you can sign up, then the easier it will be for us to plan and prepare for what promises to be a wonderful study through the book of Romans. Okay, and finally, before introducing Kelly, on August 27th, that's not this Sunday but next, after the 10 o'clock service, we will be having an information session, the scoop. You come to get the scoop from our new curate for youth and family. We mentioned this last week, but it bears repeating. Patrick's been working hard with Amy to put together a calendar for the year so that each and every parent of middle and high school age students will have ample information about all the various goings on here at St. Luke's. Okay, well, I could say more, and I will, but just not now. But I do want to introduce Kelly. I'm going to cut over to him, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about what his role and vision here at St. Luke's is. So until I see you again, hopefully Sunday, take care and God bless. And take it away, Kelly.
Hello, I'm Kelly O'Lear, the new Associate Rector here at St. Luke's, and we're very happy to be here. And I want to say thank you to everybody for your kindness, your generosity, and the way you've been reaching out to our families in small and in big ways. It means a lot to us. We never could have imagined the recession we've had. It's been wonderful. So thank you to everybody for that. A little bit about myself and my family. I'm married to Jen. We've been married for over 30 years. We have 4 children, one son in Long Island, New York, works for Amazon, another son in Dubuque, Iowa. Finishing up his master's in social work. He's married and has our granddaughter, and we should be seeing them in December when they come out to stay with us. We look forward to that. We also have 2 teenagers at home still. I have served for most of my professional career in the military, first as a medic enlisted, did some work in between, but then came back into the Army as a chaplain, where I spent about the last 20 years. About 3 of those years in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Africa in forward combat. So had a wonderful experience as an Army chaplain, and I'm sure you'll hear more about that through our time together. In terms of my work here, two things I'm very, very passionate about. First, about pastoral ministry. The last 2 years, I've been the professor of pastoral ministry as well as the associate dean at Nashotah House Theological Seminary. So JD with Trinity and I with Nashotah House, we have a natural rivalry there, so I'm sure we'll hear more about that. But I'm very passionate about pastoral ministry. I've taught it, been a practitioner for a long time now, and I care about people, and that's hands-on pastoral ministry, but also equipping the saints to do pastoral ministry. For example, up soon in October, we'll have an opportunity for those who want to become lay Eucharistic ministers, those who feel called to take the Eucharist after the service to people who can't make it, to our shut-ins. That's a vital ministry of the church. It goes all the way back to St. Gregory, actually. And so I'd love to have folks sign up for that, and you'll hear more about that in the future. Another thing that our family is very passionate about, for us, it's been given us the ability to plant and grow churches, is hospitality. Opening up our home for dinner and discussion and different things like evening prayer and compline together as believers as we all grow in our faith. So we all look forward to doing that in the time ahead, and we look forward to being a vital part of St. Luke's as we minister to you, but as well as you minister to us. Thank you.